callers are their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of this radio station.
Welcome to the Locker Room, where this morning we'll unlock the best in the sports world. Let's go to the studio with the Minister of Sports, Minister Daryl Natil. Oh, that's not bad. I want sports in my life. But today I'm going to do a special program for you today. I got some special guests. And I'm going to also dedicate it to the mothers for Mother's Day. Have a young lady on the line. She can't stay long because she's working in between from Miami, Florida. Christina Robinson, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. God bless you, man of God.
Hey, First Lady. Let me tell y'all something. I always got my Miami people on the line. This my dog right here. This my spiritual girl right here. So how you been, man?
I've been wonderful. God is faithful. He's been good to me, and just God, I have no complaints. God is still being good in spite of what we're going through.
Tell the apostle, Mr. Keith Robinson, I said hello.
I will.
That's my other puppy. That's my other dog over there. Hey, you guys have a different ministry than I grew up in, but we always connected. When we did those programs, you would MC. I would always have to serve you the water and the stuff, but I enjoyed it. And it is time now, Christina, for that podcast. Mm-hmm. It's time for that podcast.
Yes, you're right. You're sure right. You are so right. I'm excited about it. I've been hearing it. I've really been hearing it in my soul.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I know you gotta go. Yes. I know you gotta jump on the case. Let's quickly get into it. Let's talk about Christina as a mother. You got a few kids, right?
Yes. I have two boys and one girl. All of our children, they're pretty much older. Our daughter, she's 18. Mm-hmm. And she's pretty much graduating this year, so she's a part of the season of seniors that won't be experiencing an actual graduation, mm-hmm. But she will be graduating this year. So as a mother, I'm a mother that is very caring and loving. I love, and I have to say, Mr. Darrell, that not only do I love and care for my children, but as a pastor, we have spiritual daughters and sons that we take up under our wings. That we be an encouragement to them as well. And I have to say, as a mother, my goal is to be compassionate. We know that in this day and time, we don't have many families that are that do have mothers or that do have a father. One thing I am glad about is I am able to be in my children's life, but I do have to say that it's just important that you have that parenting skill, that parenting part in your life. My mom was a beautiful mm-hmm. mother. She was a spiritual person, one that really she taught us, she trained us, she showed us how to be a lady. She showed us how to take care of our home, how to take care of our families. And that same thing that my mom taught me is what I was able to implement into my children. That was what I was able to implement into my daughter's life now, even growing up. Just to let them know, most importantly, let them know that Jesus loves them. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, even though things may fail, Jesus is always there. God is always there. He's the key person in our life. So that's what, as a mother, I love being a mom. I love it. And me and my husband, we were therapeutic foster parents for, I believe it was 12 years. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of the children that still come by. They still come by and see us. They still call and want advice, as to, how do they move on with life? Because times are different from when, you and I were growing up. The support, wasn't the same. So,
you covered First Lady in that too, because that was my next thing. But you do have a awesome responsibility. Let's jump to the good stuff. You are an awesome worshiper. You're a psalmist. Tell me about. You've always had that little bug in you, haven't you?
I have. Ever since I was little, our family is musically inclined family. So, our dad, he plays a 12-string guitar, and even though he's in his 80s, he still plays it. I'm not, as musically skilled as my brothers, because all of my brothers, they play various instruments, but but my dad, he would tell us we have to sing, we have to get up there, we have to learn. My mom and dad were our pastors, so it has always been a part of my life, and it's always been instilled in my life. Our oldest brother is the one that really played a major part with actually pushing us forward to see the potential that we had in us as a singer. And then once singing with my sisters, The Miracle Life, for so many years, and then finally venturing out on my own in 2012, and just, I felt a shift in my spirit from God, pertaining to worship, pertaining to what his name really means, what his worship really means, what praise is about, so that's what, that's, I love it.
You have a couple of projects out. Can you give the folks the name of your projects? And I've been all over your YouTube, so can you give the name of your projects?
Bless you, man of God. I thank you for that. I thank you. So my my last recent project that I did, it was actually, I believe it was 2018. Don't quote me on it, but it was Love You Forever, where God gave me that song about just his, our love for him. All of us have various ways of how we express our love to God, and there's a way that God comes to us, and he really sits in the midst of us, especially during the time of prayer and worship, that meditation, and I think that's so important for every believer. So, God gave me this song, and it just fell on my heart. I love you forever. Lord, you have my heart. I love you forever. You're amazing, God. And I cry, oh, I'll forever love you. So that's the song that God gave me, and I released it, so it's been out for a little while. The next song that God gave me, my original song that I did in 2010 was More of You, where it was talking about just committing more to God. God just washed me, cleansed me of all of this negativity that's a part of me, because my desires is what keeps getting in the way. But I want more of you. I want you to make me clean and make me over again into your image and into your glory, because as you do that, I know that I'll be changed. So More of You was I made in 2010. I did my actual project in 2012 about the worship experience. That's on YouTube as well. Emmanuel, you can also find that. It's on YouTube. I am on iTunes. I have some projects on CD Baby. I don't know if everybody goes on CD Baby anymore. And I do have, it's on Amazon too. You can get it on Google, Spotify. You can just really chime in and do that. But, yeah, I love what I do for Jesus.
Okay, I tell you what, I got More of You queued up. I thank you for your call. I know you got to go to work. We're gonna let them hear more of you, and I gotta hear more. You got to bring you back, because let me tell you, my second guest, the guy from the Miami Dolphins, he has to go to Don Shula's funeral today, so he canceled out on me. We were gonna do 30 minutes. We were gonna do a concert, but I got more of you here. But I know you got to go to work. I know you got to take care of those children that's out there. I love you. I thank you for your call. Tell the Apostle I said hello, ladies and gentlemen.
I will.
Inside the locker room, virtually. Meet Christina Robinson. That's Miss Christina Robinson. She just had to leave. She's out of Miami, Florida. First Lady Christina here for a Mother's Day special. My next guest is on the line, another one of my great friends. She's a mother, she's a woman of God, and she's an author. She has a couple of books she's going to tell us about. Welcome to the Loud Locker Room, Renee Merritt. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you.
Okay. Great to have you here. Been trying to get you here since football season, but we finally got you on the show.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
Okay. We're going to go through a few questions for you. First of all, tell us about being a mother. You're a single mother. Tell us about being a mother and your kids. And one of your kids I know personally.
Yeah, you know, Trev. Being a mother, I've been a mother all of my adult life pretty much. So I had my first child at 18. My next one at 20, that's the one, you know, Trevor. And then my last one, my baby, when I was 6 years old. So that's when I was free. I was a mother, single mother. My ex was in the military, and we were young, and that kind of young military life. So from that point on, you know, I raised my kids with the support and help of my family. I mean, my mom and my stepdad, they are awesome. They're my support, my backbone from that point on. And now up until my age of 42, they're still my support and my backbone.
Okay, a lot of people know your middle son, Trevor Merritt, defensive back from Bethune-Cookman University. He's an undrafted free agent right now. Hasn't signed with anybody, I don't think. So how is he doing?
He hasn't signed. He's doing well. He's in Atlanta right now. He's still working out, still training, still has his eye on the prize. He's not letting the COVID-19 damper his dreams. So I'm proud of him. He has been just so positive about everything because of the COVID-19. The HBCU combined with canceled. His pro day was canceled, so he hasn't been in a lot of scouts. But he's still determined. And me, not just as a mother, but just watching him play over the years, I always felt he was underrated. Mm-hmm. But and I still feel though that he will get a chance to play, and because all the everything that's going on, the issues going on, that he will make it more special to him when he does have the chance.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about you. Let's talk about that gift that's in you. I know for a fact you go out a lot and you walk and you meditate. You're a woman of God and you hear from God and you write. You write a lot too. You have a couple of books out.
I do.
Tell us first of all about the books, and then we want to go into your process of how you really get stuff. Tell us about your first book.
My first book is called Through the Storm, Sydney's Showers of Blessing and Lesson. And that one is a fiction book, but everybody knows it's loosely based on, you know, my life. Some of my real experiences is in the book, even though it's fiction. And it's called Through the Storm. And like I said, in that book, you will meet Sydney. She was a single, independent, and confident woman. She had everything going for herself until she encountered a raging storm in the form of an ex-lover. And just the stress of everyday life, the secret struggles that she wrestled with, it caused her to lose herself quickly in the storm. At that point, she allowed her self-worth, her confidence, and her self-respect to be compromised, and which prompted her to do a self-evaluation. And just during that quest for healing, Sydney started to reveal stuff about herself, secrets about herself that even her best friends didn't know. And she was so caught up in the storm that the only thing that could actually save her was the grace and mercy of God. And the book is very, very transparent. It's deep. The book would take you on an emotional journey as Sydney tries to find herself again. Through the Storm is not only an eye-opener, but it's a conversation starter. And it's not only meant to entertain you, but to inform you, inspire you, empower you, and motivate you.
Question. Did you realize you were in the storm during or after?
Ooh, honey, after. After. You so caught up. And me, personally, I'm a lot like the character Sydney. And I guess I think a lot of comes from me being that single mother. I try to help everybody. I try to fix everybody. And so I was so caught up in the storm trying to make
seems right, not realizing, sometimes if it's broken, it's meant to be broken. That it's meant to be left alone. It was hurting me so much because I realized I was not walking in the will of God. I was trying to make this right when I shouldn't have been where I should be at to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But then I had to step back out, and I realized at one point I realized, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
God broke me down to help bring somebody else out. He broke me down so I can witness. I was broken to minister pretty much, and that comes out in my chapter 7 in the book. It's titled Battles and Blessing, Wounds and Worship. It's my chapter 7, and that's my worship chapter. I had a come to God moment in that chapter,
Okay.
and I really started to heal as I wrote my book. I cried a lot through my book, so that's when I realized that I was part of the storm,
See, that's where I was going next. In chapter 7, what's your favorite part of chapter 7? What could you say right here that could change somebody's life and make them want to buy that book?
The part of chapter 7, like I said, the title of it is Battles. At first, I named the chapter. It's called The Battle. It was called The Battle. And as I wrote it, I was like, This, I started to worship and praise God in this chapter. And I was like, you know what? I had to call my editor. I said, we need to rename chapter 7. And he was like, so what? And I said, it needs to be called Battle and Blessings, Wounds and Worship, And we, in that chapter, I think it's a lot of songs I have, and I share songs that got me through my tough times. I shared a lot of book verses that got me through my tough times, and and one thing I did, one quote I put in the book is called, it says, I think when one discovers himself, he discovers God. And that's so true. I think sometimes in our mess is where we meet God. Yep, in my mess is where I met him, because I realized at that point that nobody could bring me out of what I was going through but God. Not man, not myself, not, I know my mama praying for me, not just, I had to go to God for myself.
So tell me this, how many times have you read that book and it changed you each time? How many times had that happened?
You know what, when I was writing this book, I wrote it, and I wrote it, and I rewrote it, and I wrote it. And my daughter kept telling me, Mom, by the time you publish this book, you're going to be tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, honey, I will not be tired of this book, because each time I read it, it seemed like I read something new. It made me realize, it made me stronger. It made me cry, but at the same time, it made me stronger. Because I don't want to ever be that person. I don't ever want to be that city in the beginning of the book,
Mm-hmm.
So it opened up my eyes. It really did. It really did. But I had to realize without my test that I wouldn't have a testimony. And my chapter 8 is titled "When Your Test Becomes Your Testimony." And that's the last chapter of the book. So it got deep. It took it there. And it's very, very transparent, deep. It's honest. So.
Okay, now tell the folks the name of that book and how they can get that one. Then we'll go to the next book.
Okay. Through the Storm, and you can get it at throughthestormbooks.org, and it's also on Amazon. And I'm also actually in the process now of upgrading that book link to have both my books on there.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be done hopefully by the end, maybe next week, and I'll get you that new information as well. But I have the name of the link. I'm not sure if it's working now, but that one would be just ReneeMerrittBooks.com, and at that point you will have a choice to get both books, on that new link.
Okay. Now, after the success of the first one, you did some book tours. You even went to Houston, Texas, and ran to some family members you never knew you knew.
I did, and I thank you for that connection.
Mm-hmm.
We are still in touch as well. It's a small world. I had a really great time with them. Came out, they supported me, and we got along like we've been to each other. They're friendly, I'm friendly. I talk too much sometimes, so we enjoyed each other's company.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Texas itself was a great experience. Yes.
Okay. Now, the second book. Okay, how difficult was it after the success of the first book to come again with something different that's coming from out of you?
You know what? It wasn't that hard, only because it's a co-author book. It's myself and maybe 10, 11 other women on the book, and that one is called Visionista, Women Who Think Outside the Box. And you know, I feel like it's like the women on the book as well. Empowerment is an evolution, and through the process of empowerment, you become an agent of change. Simply put, it's like going from I can't to I can. And women empowerment is a movement of self-respect, honor, and prevail for all women. You know, it gives women the freedom to be who they were created to be, not who the world molded us to be. You know, because the world can actually change you. Experiences can change you. But deep down, there's a person in you that God created you to be. And so I feel that, you know, that's what we're trying to get to, having everybody be that person God created them to be without being, without apology, you know, without the approval of others.
Okay, I'm finna put you on the spot because you really saved me today. Because two of my guests had to cancel out on me. I'm finna put you on the spot. It's Mother's Day.
Okay.
And I had to invite you as my guest speaker. You got to use both of your books to give the ladies who are listening a word. You got a few minutes. You got about 5 minutes. What would you put together? I'm pulling it at you today.
Okay.
I'm finna pull it at you.
Okay.
What would you finna preach right here on my show? Come on.
Okay. Let me talk about a little bit more about Visionistas then. You know, it's a collection of inspirational stories and experiences from powerful women. Each author gives her insight into her personal process of conquering her fears to achieve her dreams, executing her voice so that she is heard, and creating opportunities so that her work is meaningful. So, I mean, I love to write. Like I said, I feel that I was broken down just to be built back up by God, you know. And my hope is that, you know, women, we never lose our spark. We never lose our voice. You know, don't just speak your truth. You have to own your truth because that is what made us, you know. And don't lose your sense of adventure. Don't let people, the world bring you down. Don't lose your qualities, you know, the stuff that makes you unique. In the book, each author desires for every woman to realize her strength by embracing her journey. You can't be mad or hate yourself for what you did in the past or for what you're going through. You can't let people hold you to your past. You can't let people use your past to dictate your current mindset. You know, people change. I'm trying to come off of drugs. I need help. Who's the best person to help me with that is somebody who's been there. You know, so we got to realize that God sometimes uses what we call our weaknesses to help strengthen somebody else. We have to realize that. We have to accept every part of our journey and embrace that. And in my chapter of the book is called Redefining the Future, and it gives a glimpse into my life and how I overcame toxic relationships. And I finally took responsibility for my own actions, my decisions, my destiny. And throughout the chapter, you'll see some of the trials I experienced and how they shaped me to be the woman that I am today. My journey of self-discovery, it helped me to let go of the past so I can embrace my present. And at that point, I can begin to redefine my future.
Okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a short break. We're gonna take a short break right here. Let you get a glass of water, and when we come back, we're gonna put the spin on that second book and the best part of that second book. Let's take a short break. Let's to the locker room on Joy 106.3.
All my brothers and sisters in the storm. Today's a new day, yeah, but there is no sunshine. And nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day, yeah, but where are my blue skies? Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? Down is alright. I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain. From heaven like a shower, smile. Even though I've been here for a while, I smile. Ooh. Smile. So hard to look up when you've been down. I sure hate to see you give up now. You look so much better when you smile. So smile.
Don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you are. Let's go.
Today's a new day, yeah, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today is a new day, yeah. Tell me, where are my blue skies? Where is the love and your joy that you promised me? Tell me it's alright.
Come on.
I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain fell from heaven like a shower. I smile, even though I'm hurt. See, I smile. I know God is working, so I smile. Even though I've been here for a while, I smile. It's so hard to look up when you've been down. Sure would hate to see you give up now. You look so much better. You look so much better when you smile.
And my brother say,
Smile for me. Would you just smile for me? Smile for me. Oh, would you just smile for me?
hey!
Oh, oh, oh. You look so much better when you. Oh, oh, oh. You look so much better when you. Oh, oh, oh. You look so much better when you. Oh, oh, oh. You look so much better when you smile. Hey. You look so much better when you. Oh, oh, oh. You look so much better when you. Oh, oh, oh. You look so much better when you. You look so much better when you. You look so much better when you smile. I almost gave up, but I can't explain. Power from heaven. You look so much better when you smile. You look so much better when you.
Welcome back to the Locker Room, and my special guest today, Miss Renee Merritt. She's talking about her 2 projects. She just gave us a great analysis from her first book. Renee, tell us about how you got the second book put up and some of the good stuff that's inside that one.
First of all, that song, I Smile. I love that song. That was
I knew that already. That's why I played it.
I was in here jamming.
You was jamming?
And it's so, I was jamming, and it touches me only because in my chapter 5 of Through the Storm, chapter 5 is called When It Rains, It Pours.
Oh, my
But
God.
I inputted that song towards the end of chapter 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's written in the book, that part of some of that song.
Get out of here.
Because,
Oh, man.
yeah, I was going through it. It was raining. It was pouring down, mentally, you know what I'm saying? And by the end of that chapter, though, I was telling my friend, like in the book, Cindy was just saying, she had so many reasons to cry, but she had plenty more reasons to be strong, to laugh, and to smile. So that song touched me. You just don't know.
That was the Holy Spirit right there, because I had that song saved for like 3 weeks, and I needed it today, so it came at the perfect time.
Yes. So, and also in Through the Storm, it's just, women, we wear a lot of hats in life. Like you said, it's Mother's Day. Hey, I'm a mother. Not only that, a single mother. But we strive to be that perfect mother, a good daughter, or a caretaker to our parents. We want to be the perfect spouse, a good sister, a good friend, or a valued employee or whatever. But we often neglect ourselves because of that. We also tend to hold in our feelings on to our failures, to our grief, and our past hurts and our traumatic experiences. So that sometimes that breaks us down, but we have got to let go of our hurt. We've got to let go of our past. And, one thing I've learned in life is through writing most of these books, Janisa and Through the Storm, is that we have to, first and foremost, forgive ourselves. So once we forgive ourselves, it is so much easier to forgive others that hurt us. And in forgiving them, it releases the power, the hold they have over us. We have to love ourselves, because loving ourselves and having a good relationship with yourself is important, because the relationship we have with ourselves, it actually defines and it sets a tone for all other relationships. If I'm, feeling some kind of way, I'm upset, I think this about myself, I have negative thoughts, I'm going to be around negative people who actually is going to probably hurt me more than help me,
Right.
If I don't love myself, I'm going to be in those toxic relationships where I'm being half loved and I feel it's okay. Or if we can't let go of our past, every time something happens to us wrong, we think, oh, maybe that's my karma. And that was one of my problems. Every time something went wrong in one of my relationships, I was like, well, maybe I deserve that because, I did this in the past, or maybe that was my karma, or maybe I don't deserve to be loved. So so I'm going to settle for this half relationship because maybe that's where God is punishing me at, So we have to really, really go through. It broke me down, a lot of stuff in my past, but I've moved forward. Through the whole time of me being broken down, you would never know it because I was their mama. I'm at all the football games. I got the kids in church. I work a full-time job. I've been with the Department of Health since 2005. I've been a specialized mentor since 2013. At the age of 40. I graduated in 2017 at the age of 40. I graduated from college.
Come on now.
Honors. Yeah, I had 2 kids in college at the same time with me.
Oh, my God.
I graduated. I held a 4.0 the entire time I was in college, And so we have to push forward. We have to use, God is trying to use us. And when we get to the point where we understand that, we'll understand why we went through what we went through. And at that point, we can start to, kind of turn our wounds, into wisdom, We can turn our lessons into our blessings. We turn our pain into power. And that's what I decided to do. Instead of wallowing in my sorrow, I decided to, hey, you know what? Let me move forward. Let me help somebody else out. Let me be transparent. Let me be deep and honest. And so make going through that. Now, I used to be ashamed of my story. But now it's like I hear the young lady talking about her relationship or this. I'm like, girl, let me tell you what happened to me. I don't mind telling my story because I feel it's going to help somebody else. And that's what prompted me to write the book, And I think it was God. I would wake up in the morning and have like a chapter in my head or have a verse that related to one of my chapters or a song come on the radio. I'm like, oh, my God, that's what I wanted in my book. And just stuff like that. I just felt, and I just went with it. I wrote my book, and here it is. I have 2 books now within a year. The first one came out September of last year. The other one just came out in March, And I'm still working full-time, still mentoring, still being a mama. And, it's about the grace of God. With the grace of God, I've been able to just push forward and do that,
I'm going to tell you something. God is really pulling you quickly to the front. You say you've been mentoring. I'm putting together something. I know I'm going to be calling on you. I watch how you interact on the trips during the football game with the different fans and the different alumni, people who you really didn't know until your son came to Bethune-Cookman University. And I've watched you from a distance, and I know that God really does have his hand on you. And there's some things he's going to pull you to the forefront that you experience because you just gave out a lot of information just now.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, wherever I need to be, I'm there, And I love my podcast family. I miss them so much.
We trying to figure out if there's gonna be some football coming in anyway. It's gonna,
I know. Yeah, I miss everybody. You know, and like I said, my mom. I'm just like my mom. She's like over the service department of her church and everything.
mm-hmm.
She's always helping us, and I always fuss at her about, Mom, you always trying to help somebody, but you know what? I'm just like my mom.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go to the kitchen and get those pots ready for Sunday. I appreciate your call, and we'll be hearing from me further down the road. You're listening to the Locker Room. Let's take a break.
This is Daytona Station for gospel music on FM at 106.3 and online at joy1063.com.
You don't have to go anywhere to give back to your community. Equal Ground Education Fund wants you to act from home by being counted in the census and help us get funding for things like schools and housing. Respond online or by phone from the comfort of your home, or simply return the mail questionnaire. Be counted at 2020census.gov. A message from Equal Ground Education Fund.
Mother's Day special. Had two great guests on this morning. Had Christina Robinson, a psalmist out of Miami, and I had Renee Merritt out of Brevard County, down Cocoa, Melbourne, Rockledge, where she was just talking about her book, and she was just full of life and full of love. So second half of the show, I got one of my best friends on. I've been knowing this young man for a long time. He also has two books, and I'd like to welcome to the Locker Room for the second time, Mr. Stevie Baggs, Jr. Hello, Stevie. He must be on hold. He got me on hold. Stevie Baggs has a new project out called Woke. His first project was called Greater Than the Game. Former BCU athlete, former NFL football player, CFL football player, played for 11 teams in 10 years. Stevie Baggs, are you there? He's not. What happened to him? Stevie, are you there?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, but I was talking. But...
Okay, you might have been on. You might have had your phone on mute. So how you doing, sir?
Man, thanks for allowing me, big bro, to come into the locker room, man, with you, bro. That's what I want to first say. And your first two guests, those two women are phenomenal. And so I'm glad you kind of brought some balance back with some virility in this thing, man. So yes, sir.
Hey, first of all, before we get into what we're going to talk about, I want you to honor your mom. You got a cool mom, man. Your mom is a great lady. She manages you well. She actually like your sister. But since it's Mother's Day, I'm going to let you give a tribute to your mom. What would you like to say to her?
So, bro, there's no king, there's no emperor, there's no chief without the woman. Every chief, king, and emperor came out of a womb. Every leader came out of a womb. So the most important thing and the most powerful thing that we call and relate things to in this world is called a mother. We call it Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Mother Land, and Mother Time. So I pay homage to my dear Queen Mother. In Hebrew, we call it Ima. In Arabic, they call it Umi. So I pay homage to Queen Mother for doing and sacrificing as much as she has over the years to help me live out what the universal God called me to do. So yes, sir. All the mothers, all the mothers. Salute.
Hey, that's a great tribute because I know your mom raised you as a single parent at a time, and you have a daughter, and now you recently got married, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have. And you know, my daughter's mother
Honor.
and I are together. Honor. Yeah, her name is Honor. My daughter's name is Honor, and I even pay homage to her mom because, you know, Honor didn't ask to be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was the universal God that allowed that to happen. So, yeah, bro. It's this whole thing that we're talking about when it comes to family and life and leadership and love is all in unison if you really think about it. Because how can you want to be loved but you're not lovable?
Oh my
How
God.
can you want to be respected but you're not respectable?
Mm-hmm.
How can you want to be honored but you're not honorable? You're not honor able. You're not love able, and you're not respect able. So you know, when you have those attributes in you, then you'll attract those attributes to you. You know, and so I'm just thankful to have love, respect, and honor, and family, and friendships, and like yours, man. You know, you're one of my closest friends, and I tell people all the time, I talk to people, the people I talk to on a daily basis are older than me, because I want to help create shortcuts in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wanna take heed to the wisdom and to the knowledge and to the information that you have, and maybe I don't use every single thing that you tell me, but maybe some of the things you tell me, some of the things my other mentors and friends tell me that are older, I can take the meat and leave the bones. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But mothers do that. Mothers have a way of doing that. And, you know, listen, bro. I had my dad in my life too. You know, I still have my dad in my life. And although my mom and dad had a divorce and got a divorce, my father was still there.
Okay.
You know, and they were married for 14 years. So, you know, my dad was and is in my life, and I can't pay homage to Queen Mother without you know, not acknowledging Pops. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it takes a plug and it takes a psychic for us to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I want to change the spin of things right now, because we're involved in a pandemic. There are a lot of things happening in the country every day, and something happened near you in Brunswick, Georgia, that's really got people up in arms. And your second book talks about being woke. What do you mean by being woke?
Sir. Well, there's three types of people that you're gonna deal with on a daily basis. One person you're gonna turn the light on if they're sleeping. If they're in a pitch black darkness sleeping, and you turn the light on them, they're gonna say, "Man, turn that light on. I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm going back to sleep." Second person you're gonna turn the light on, bro, and they're gonna be like, "Man, I know I need this light, man. I know I need it, but man, I'm going back to sleep. Let me get some more sleep. I know I need the light." Then the third person, you're gonna turn the light on, bro, and they're gonna be like, "Man, I know this light hurts. It's like the truth. The truth hurts. So make the light and the truth synonymous with one another. And the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free. The truth will make you free." And so that third person is going to be open to the light. They're going to be accepting of that light. So woke is a dictionary for the conscious mind to help people unlearn and relearn, unpack and repack systematic conditioning, programming, and manipulation that we have been under through something as simple as the power of words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's a real dynamic thing. And you know, we call ourselves black. Go look up the word black in Latin. It means colorless. The word white in Spanish means blanco. The word white in French is pronounced blanc. So blanco and blanc, that's closely spelled to black in the English language.
Mm-hmm.
Because black in Latin means colorless or void, which, if you take the B off the word black, big bro, is lack. And we be in lack. We be in lack of information. We be in lack of togetherness. We be in lack of consciousness. We be in lack. And so because we're in such a lack of information, and that's the real thing, because we got money.
Mm-hmm.
We got education.
Mm-hmm.
You got a whole lot of melanated people with money and education. So that means that should let us know that money ain't power and your education is not power, but information is power. And if you have good information, you have good power. If you have bad information, you have bad power. And that's why we've been displaying bad power, big bro, because you can't tell me the people who jump higher than anybody else in the world, how we still underneath.
Come on now.
The people that run faster than everybody else in the world, you still losing the race called life. The people that hair is perpendicular, but your spirit is flat.
Boy,
so now we have to start doing some stuff. We got to start doing some self-inventory and saying, well, how can we continue to do the same thing and expect different results? We can't. We should change the way and question the way we worship. We should question the way we politic. We should question the way of our economics. We should question our education, and we should definitely question our spirit. And it's easy for us to be socially distant because we already been spiritually distant.
You better preach, boy.
And so it's easy for me to socially distance you. Your spirit has been distant. from the truth. Because what can your religion do for you that the universal God can't do for you? How you going to put God in a box of a religion when God created the box? So you start asking questions like this, and people start scratching their heads. And I'm like, Look at the Bible and take the allegory and take the folklore and look at the other stories. Adam and Eve is not just A-D-A-M. Adam is A-T-O-M. The first light, the first molecule was an atom. The prefix to evening is E-V-E. God took light and took darkness and brought that together to make mankind. A woman's anatomy is cave. It's darkness. It's cave. A man's anatomy is outer. Light and darkness. That's the metaphysical, scientific side of Adam and Eve. Then you go to the Hebraic side of Adam and Eve, big bro, and it's like, Adam and Eve, Adamah in Hebrew, Adamah, anytime you put a H on the end of a word, it feminizes the word. Adamah meaning from the earth. The Adamic people, the men in the civilization, acted as the ribs of that civilization. They protected the most vital organ in the civilization, which was the woman. Just like your ribs on your body protect the most vital organs in the body, which is your autonomic nervous system. Everything that works automatically without your discretion. You see how it goes, big bro?
I see.
But we don't look at the Bible. We don't look at the Bible but one way that we've been taught. We don't look at spiritual things but one way. It's not until you lift the veil and then you say, well, be fruitful and multiply. That don't mean that you go lay down and procreate. It means that you can plant seeds in the hearts and in the minds of men.
Come on. There you go.
Okay? But our people have been so bombarded and so manipulated and with fear that once you start to give them truth, they don't know how to understand and accept the truth because you've been so bombarded with lies and fallacies. So the fear of this corona, this pandemic, this is real, big bro.
Yeah, it
The
is.
prefix to the word, the prefix to the word democracy is demo. Democracy. We live in a democracy. Democracy is demo. The prefix to the word demon is demo. Demon, democracy. In the middle of the word pandemic, pandemonium is demon. You hear me?
Come on,
See
break
what
it
I'm
down.
telling you, bro?
Break it down, bro.
This thing is, they have used fear. Pan means all. P-A-N is all, like the Pan Am Games. Pandemic. All the world is going through this. Pandemonium. It's just all hell and broke loose. Pandemic. Right? So what happens though, bro, I have to attack your mind first. Then I could attack your body. So if I make fear and I produce fear inside your mind, it's easy for me to control you. Because if I control the mind, I control the man. If the body is acidic, that's when virus and bacteria and infection and fungus can play. If the mind is acidic, that's when disease can go at work too in the mind. So it all works in tandem, big bro. But we have to understand and understand that everything we're dealing with is because we look without and we don't look within. How can you say you made in the image and likeness of God, but you don't do no God things? How can you say you follow Christ, but you ain't nothing about you anointed? You're afraid to use your anointing. Christ means anointing.
Right.
Why are you afraid to use your anointing when the same God and Jesus you call on told you, do a greater work than I? The same Yeshua said, don't worship me, worship my Father. So when we going to start doing greater works? When we going to start letting the blind see? Letting the blind see ain't because I'm going to make Stevie Wonder see. Letting the blind see is I'm going to open your third eye, your spiritual eye.
There you go.
So you can see what's going on. So you can be more clairvoyant. So you can have more intuition, intuitiveness. We've lost our imagination. We've lost our intuitiveness. And we definitely have lost our clairvoyance, bro.
Boy, you all in it, dude. Hey, tell the folks. I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna pull the plug on you now because I know you can go another 30 minutes. Tell the folks first of all how they can get your book. How do we get your books?
Okay.
Tell us that first.
All right. Okay. You can get the book StevieBaggsJr.com. just hit the tab called Woke, and you can get the book there. StevieBaggsJr.com.
Okay. Tell us how we can go to IG when you on live, IG Live, and you spilling some of this good truth out. How can the folks get you on IG?
Oh, everything is at Stevie Baggs Jr.
Okay.
At Stevie Baggs Jr. So StevieBaggs. Big bro, I appreciate you, man, for allowing me to be on your platform. I love what you're doing by helping people get this information and bringing light to so many people, the unsung heroes. You know, you bringing light to people that are not celebrated in society. So I want to pay homage to you.
Thank you, man.
And what
Appreciate
you're doing, because it takes a lot. Yes, sir.
Okay. Listening to the Locker Room. Next week, we're going to have my good friend from the Miami Dolphins back, Don McNeil. He was supposed to be on today, but with the death of Coach Shula and a family member, he couldn't make it to the show today. Also, next week, I have another worship and arts guy, Mr. Darnell Butler out of Tampa, Florida. He'll be on. I'm out of time. Definitely not out of sports. You've been listening to the Locker Room. We're out of time, but we're definitely not out of sports. Join me next Friday here on Joy 106.3. If you want to contact the Locker Room, you can email me at thelockerroom@gmail.com. See you next week.